There's a lot of controversy about the way things are done today in synchronization rights. It's difficult to come up with a solution. One of the solutions was 51% of a song approved. That would control the deal. I like that. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Joe, what do you think?
It's a landmine, right? So it's two things for me, because I license for karaoke, right?
Under the law, in order to get a sync right, you need to have 100% of the ownership of the song to sign on. Anybody that writes a song or part of a song is in control of the sync rights unless they sign it to a publishing company. Hello, everyone. Glad you could join us. Today, we're fortunate to have as a guest Joe Vangieri, who is the CEO, founder of Digitrax AI, which is a karaoke company and an AI company, both in one. Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Alan. Pleasure to be here.
Okay. So basically, we wanted to talk about sync rights. Anybody that writes a song or part of a song is in control of the sync rights unless they sign it to a publishing company. Then the publishing company steps in. Some writers are strong enough to say, you got to come to me on these songs because I'm Paul McCartney and I have final say. But the average artist gets a publishing deal. The publishing company steps in as the administrator and they control. So under the law, in order to get a sync right, you need to have 100% of the ownership of the song to sign off. So if somebody has 1% of your song, you can't license it to motion pictures, television, commercials, anything without approval. There's a lot of controversy about the way things are done today in synchronization rights. It's difficult to come up with a solution. One of the solutions was to had 51% of a song approved. That would control the deal. I like that. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, it's one of the things I think is good. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a landmine, right? So it's two things for me, because I license for karaoke, right? And in karaoke, the synchronization is called contemporaneous display of lyric. And so we have the lyric in time with the music. And if we don't have 100%, we can't put that up.
Right.
Conversely, though, it keeps competition because it's very difficult to get these sync rights. As you know, we've been with you for over 13 years now, working together.
Need an attorney. Fortunately for me.
I started in karaoke in 87. I started doing this stuff back in 87, and it's just been really interesting on how
and difficult.
It's evolved. I mean, when I first started, I had a show called Sing Along New Jersey, and I was putting it on cable TV, and I didn't get any rights for it. I'm past the statute of limitations, but we used to put up a TV show every week, and I didn't know anything about sync rights. I mean, now with apps, and so it's very difficult. I mean, it does hurt innovation.
I agree.
It does protect the songwriters.
What do you think of the 51% or more sort of like controls?
I think that would be great, because like mechanicals, it's letter of intent, and you're free about
statutory.
You
don't have to get permission to record any song as long as you don't sync it with a visual.
Yeah.
So that works, but it's hard to tell somebody like Paul McCartney, we're going to only pay you $5,000 for your song, because that's another thing people are talking about. Put a ceiling on it. So this way the music gets to be used more, and consequently, ultimately, we'll make more money. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. and it's real interesting because, when it comes to sync, you'll see a disparity in the availability of music that you're
Oh, for
able
sure.
to, because you have to get everything cleared. And for us, there's so many publishers. I mean, it's not
Oh,
just the
yeah.
major publishers, it's all the little publishers. And then on a lot of the hip hop stuff, it's almost impossible to find the writers.
I cleared a Snoop song once that had 9 writers on the song. 9 writers. I think everybody that was in the room got a piece.
I was just about to say, everybody that was hanging in the room with him that night, what's your name?
Yeah.
Everybody wrote down their names.
And some of them we can't find, period.
Yeah. And then everybody has a different company.
Right. Or changes their names.
I mean, even the law would be great if someone got the administrative right. So if one person out of the 6, one person had the administrative right, meaning they can grant it.
Or it was all in a single publishing company.
Yeah, that would be great. Like we did that deal for Activision that time. And when we did the deal for Activision, we went to one publisher and we got all the music from one publisher. And it was a lot easier because it moved real fast.
We decided that would choose the music. In other words, if Warner has it, all their stuff will be Warner, one clearance. And it worked.
Yeah, and we did that for The Voice, and that worked really well. Right now, we're, when it comes to sync, I'm about to step on a bunch of landmines that we're going to have to talk about, because if you start doing contests and you're using music.
Which we are, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the plan? Yeah,
that's the plan. Cool. And so, where's the sync rate? I mean, there's different levels of sync right now. I'm hearing, typically, 20% for karaoke, blah, 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 for the synchronization rights. And now you're hearing, well, if you're using it in advertising, we want more money. And I thought that was very interesting. Like it's the same money we're getting. And now you just want 10% more because we're saying it's coming from advertising.
Right. So you have to pick maybe like 1 or 2 songs you're going to use for advertising and none of the others.
And none of the others. Yeah. And so that stifles, innovation.
It does.
Especially, sync rights within anything. You see a lot of these AI music companies, right? Well, first of all, their training sets that they use were not cleared, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole nother podcast for you.
Not ethical.
It's completely unethical. But how do they get the rights for that? And then if you were to use something like that in a sync and it has somebody else's music in it, how would you even know what it was?
Especially with all the sampling.
Yeah.
A lot of these samples, I can't tell you what the song was. Your AI probably could.
Yeah,
right?
If you analyze it. Yeah, I mean, you look at like Sabotage by, what was it, Beastie Boys, right? I think there was like 40 samples in there or something crazy.
Oh, no.
Like well, you did that. What was the Beatle, that medley thing that you did where you had like 7 songs? What was that called?
We had 11 songs.
Yeah.
It was called Stars on 45.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Beatles sound-alike, which was really incredible.
Oh, it was really incredible. I mean, I was a DJ doing weddings, bar mitzvahs, and parties back in the late 70s. And, when that thing came out, Stars on 45 was hot.
1981 went to number 1.
Yeah, we played it everywhere.
It's here somewhere.
And it's
so,
but you had 7 different writers.
No, 11. No, we had 11 songs.
11.
So at 2 3/4 cents, which is what it was back then per song, we couldn't put out a single because it was just too expensive. Singles sold for like $1.50. It was over $2 in the mechanicals.
Yeah.
So I went to the publishers and I said, this is a medley. We're using like 9 seconds, 12 seconds of your song. So it's not going to come out. It was huge in Europe. It's not going to come out unless we can work out what I call the medley rate.
Mm-hmm.
What that was is I would pay 3 times mechanicals because that's the most we could afford and still make some money. And I'm going to divide it equally amongst all 11 songs. And this way we can put the record out. And all the publishers agreed. There's only like 2 or 3 because I think Harrison was separate from Lennon McCartney. And I think they did some covers. In fact, I know they did.
Yeah. They had the Chubby Checkers in there too.
Yeah, exactly. So we got them all cleared and put it out, and the record went to #1 on the Billboard chart.
Yeah, and that was mechanical, and it was difficult. Now,
I was mechanical, and it was difficult.
Can you imagine trying to get the sync right to put the video out for that?
Impossible. Thank God we weren't doing videos then.
Tell you now, well, it's a video-driven world.
Without a doubt. I can't see it on my phone. I ain't going to see it.
Yeah, especially the TikTok generation. I mean,
right.
You're just watching. It's hysterical. You go into restaurants and you watch every single person's like, headboard.
Doctor's office, restaurants, even in shows. I see people go because they want to tell somebody where they are.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm at the ELO concert.
in the movie theater.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like, people will talk, one of the fellows that we work with, his wife was remodeling the kitchen and she wanted to post it on YouTube to show her sisters. Led Zeppelin was playing in the background. She put it up on YouTube. I remember that. And they took down the audio. They took down the audio. So they'll mute.
I remember that. Yeah, it was just playing in her house, not really promoting anything or, highlighting anything. It just was there. And they took it down.
Yeah. And here's the question, all right? Like in a public space, you have no right to privacy, right? In a public space.
Correct.
So if the music's playing in a public space and you're walking in the public space and you're videoing and that music's in the background,
you're screwed. Now you're screwed
because it's the same.
Yeah. TikTok has some kind of license with everybody, but it only applies to certain publishers, I think. But it's
there's a few innovative new companies there. It's
not
hard.
A fix at all.
It's not a fix. It's not a fix. None of this is it. It needs to be law. I mean, we need a law on syncs and a statutory rate. Here's a rate. This is the same.
You're gonna get every heavyweight to fight the statutory rate.
Oh, please! Of course they're going to fight it.
Yeah. Like I said, if maybe they could set tiers. Are you a tier 1 artist, a songwriter? Tier 2 songwriter? Tier 3? Different numbers.
Well, so what? My big beef right now is, since we create technology, right? We have patents. We have 7 patents. When you get a patent, it's good for 20 years. That's it. It's 20 years. So why should a song be any different? Now, everybody who's watching this is probably going to freak out with me saying this, but
it's 35 years to get it back under the 76.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is after 20 years, it's open game, because the reason why the United States Patent Office did that was to spur innovation, to get people, okay, that patent's up. Now people can start using that patent to make that same thing, to make competition. And a song is not like that, where, why is a song IP different than technology IP?
Right. Well, the world didn't move as fast. Now, 35 years, 75 years for PD sounds like forever.
And, and a lot of our rights come, stems from sheet music. Sheet music to the term mechanical comes from the player piano.
I know.
It's a mechanical. It's a player piano. Like, what's a player piano? That was the first punch card.
It had those, right. It had the sheets with the holes in them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would play the piano. Like we did a project for Yamaha for their Disclavier pianos. If you see a Yamaha piano,
I remember the Disclavier. Yeah.
Yeah. We did. No, this one's Disclavier. Disclavier was awesome. That was it was like the Mellotron of the first Mellotron of digital.
It did everything.
Yeah, it did everything. It was awesome.
But it cost a bloody fortune. It was
a fortune.
Yeah.
But the Disclavier cost a fortune because the Yamaha C7, beautiful piano, and it's playing. And we did 3,500 songs for Yamaha. And then what Yamaha did was they took all of our stems, and then we had the MIDI of the piano playing.
Did Yamaha clear it?
Yeah, Yamaha. It's all mechanical. It's all mechanical.
Oh, that's right. It's all mechanical. It's
not a
statutory. Guys, I'm sure you know that mechanicals are compulsory. You can use any song that's been recorded for, but it's important to know that any song that you've ever heard that you love, you can record it. You're just going to have to pay the mechanical, which is 9.1 cents.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, right? And it's you got mechanical to record it. You have to do letter of intent. I'm going to record your song. Okay, good. We told them we're going to record their song. Then if I want to put out a video, a karaoke video, I have to make sure I have a video sync license for that.
Yeah.
And then we go to put it up on, like, we've had a YouTube channel for 13 years. It's Karaoke on Vivo. And in 13 years, we haven't had one strike. Not one strike, not one takedown. And because we've always we've always taken it down if we lost the right to it, and we only put up stuff that we have the sync rights to. And it's a really precarious situation, synchronization. Yeah, I mean, for us, the big thing in synchronization is, and then you have to continuously pay advances on synchronization. Yeah, I mean, and we've got to get sync rights from all these, multinational corporations. The karaoke's not paying what a commercial would. Like, the interesting thing about a sync is typically sync is a commercial or sync for a movie,
right? TV,
and it pays big,
right?
We're doing karaoke. I mean, there's X amount of songs, and it's a streaming service, and
the number of songs is important. So the more expensive it is for those songs, the less likely people are going to try to supply it.
Yeah. But sync has been a blessing and a curse. We have the sync rights. There's only a handful of karaoke recording companies worldwide that actually have sync rights.
Right, from the major U.S. publisher.
Yeah.
You can't get the right for the world anywhere but the United States. You can get UK from, what's that thing called?
PRS.
You can get France from theirs. You can get, but global has to be the United States. So I have lots of clients that come to me from everywhere. China, I mean, you name it, I have clients there. Which is
Mongolia. I've got a group out of Mongolia that have a really cool thing. And one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite heavy metal bands is from Mongolia. They're called the HU. Yeah, they're awesome. They play traditional Mongolian instruments and they're metal. They're really good.
Cool.
And come on, Genghis Khan, he ruled the world. And I'm really excited. It's a small little, it's a huge country with just very few people in it. But they came to me for karaoke recently. And we were talking, and how do I license this? From Mongolia. I said, what's your performing rights organization in Mongolia?
Oh, they don't care if they get global.
They just want Mongolia. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And like stuff like that. Like, is there a global organization that can do this? Is there?
There isn't. Well, the United States, the U.S. publishers can license the world.
And it's funny, right? Because the publishers really aren't American companies, right? Because, Universal is French, EMG is German, Sony is Japanese, Warner Russian,
is some guy,
Ukrainian,
some very wealthy
oligarch. It's just some guy.
Yeah,
but he may be the only American one. I mean, owned.
I think his passport's England.
England, is it? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I think so. I think somebody told me that.
Then
all right, this has been fun.
Every time I watch documentaries, I love watching band documentaries, and people make band documentaries with none of the band's music in it because they can't get any of the songs. It's ridiculous.
Have you seen Searching for Sugar Man? Everybody out there,
it's the greatest.
The greatest. It's about
it's life changing.
Out of Detroit, whose 2 albums failed in the United States, but unbeknownst to him, he's a superstar in South Africa.
Huge.
And finally 2 of the fans searched him out and found him. And it's really wonderful.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
A really great story. And I saw another documentary on Big Star. That's another band that no one knows.
Oh, yeah. Out of Memphis. I know.
So good.
The guy that did The Letter. What was his name?
Yeah. He was 16 when he sang that.
I know.
16.
I know.
And well, the one song is on that 70s show. It opens that 70s show, but it's not done by Big Star. It's Big Star's song. Someone else covered it. I think the Revlons covered it. One of those companies, one of those bands. But sync right. So they got a sync right. They got a sync right to a major TV show.
Yeah, this is important because everything out there today on the internet, on your phones, everywhere is music from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah,
And
you're
everywhere.
as a songwriter, you really want syncs. As a songwriter, you want to get as many synchronization rights. Keep calling them syncs, synchronization rights, as you could get, because you get the intro to a TV show, like Bare Naked Ladies getting
That's huge.
my God.
How about Big Boys? So Bad Boys.
Yeah, Bad Boy. Yeah.
I got it on Cops, and the songwriter made a bloody fortune.
Yeah, like the Big Bang Theory, Bare Naked Ladies probably made more money off of the Big Bang than they did off of
And they did your whole career.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I believe that. Doc Severinsen, when he wrote the old Johnny Carson theme for everyone who's a boomer on this call, I probably just violated a sync right there.
All right, guys.
Alan, thank you so much.
It was great.
Great.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. And we have plenty of exciting topics lined up for that deep dive into the world of music law, artist rights, and industry insights.